How's that for a pretty cool new opening? Hi. Let's put the new team in place here.
New show.
New show, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. Good to be on in Bismarck, Fargo, Minot, Grand Forks, and Dickinson. I'm Joel Heitkamp, your host of Energy Matters, replacing two people who, quite frankly, did the show very, very well. I think Scott Bachmeyer started this whole baby out, and then Mike Seminary kicked in. The genesis of Energy Matters comes from K-Fire 550. I mean, that was the birthplace. It expanded beyond. Obviously, if you're in Minot, the Magic City right now, you realize what a big role energy is playing in your day-to-day life. It's right there. You see it on a daily basis. If you're listening in Dickinson, if you're listening at KLTZ, 1460 in Dickinson, it is in your backyard. Grand Forks, 1440. Gee, you think this isn't playing? When your city council is appropriating money to try to lure some of this business and put jet service between the two communities that are really cooking out there, Dickinson and Grand Forks, and Grand Forks back to Williston and Minot. I mean, think about that. Grand Forks just sits there and it's like we're seeing an opportunity here. And they're saying, you know what? There is an office space for you there. We've got office space for you here. And of course, Minot being one of those big regional hubs where everything goes through. A lot of things coming from Fargo to Minot. You see the trucks constantly, as much on the road as what I am. For those of you who might be hearing my voice for the first time, I'm Joel Heitkamp. I'm a former state senator in the state of North Dakota, worked in the utility business for a number of years. For the last 7 years, I have been a radio talk show host here with KFYR, with KFGO, and with KCJB. So it's good to be joined by KKXL and KLTZ. Now, to do this show and to do it right, the way I'm going to need to do it, I'm going to need help. I really am. I'm going to need the type of help that I recruited and I was able to bring in studio with me, the best and the brightest that I've seen out there when it comes to young engineers in the state of North Dakota. Cory Chorne works with Advanced Engineering and Environmental Services. He works on the Western area water supply. He works on a daily basis in Williston, in Dickinson, in Watford City. And you know what? He has agreed to be my co-pilot when it comes to a lot of these Energy Matters shows. Cory, good to have you on the team.
Joel, thanks for having me on the team.
Last night when you went to bed, did you wonder what the heck you agreed to, or how did you know?
I was wondering what I agreed to, and I was wondering what you were thinking putting an engineer on the radio.
Well, part of it was Mike brought some of that background, working with an engineering firm. And I would listen to it and I'd say, that adds a real flavor to it. Because if he couldn't get the answer, he knew where to get the answer. And so, Cory, a lot of times you're going to be my answer, whether you like it or not. How do you like that?
I like that just fine.
Cory, the thing that, we're about as booked up as you can get on this show today. We're going to have the North Dakota Petroleum Council on. We're going to have the National Energy Center of Excellence at Bismarck State College on. We're going to have the mayor of Watford City on. We're going to have people involved with job service on. We're going to have people involved with North Dakota DOT on. We're going to have people from Dunn County County Commission on. We're going to have a lot of people coming your way to try to get you the information that you need. But what we do need most of all is to hear from you. We need to hear from you. So whether you're listening at KLTC, KKXL, KCJB, KFGO, or the fathership of all this, KFYR, what you need to know is we want this show to be access for you. And Cory, that's about taking calls, isn't it?
That's absolutely right.
When you're out there, when you're out working, you get hit with a lot of these questions. And this is how I sold this to you. Now's a way where we can really connect with the people who might have questions about this boom. When you're in Williston, when you're in Watford City, what's your first impression all the time, Cory?
Well, I go up there probably on a weekly basis, and every time I go back, I'm just amazed at the changes that can happen in as short a time period as a week. The amount of growth, the amount of people that are in the area, the amount of traffic. I've actually have a historical perspective in the area, so I knew what this area was like before this boom hit. I could drive from Bismarck to Watford City or Williston, set the cruise at the legal speed limit, and not have to worry about stopping and a lot of times even seeing another vehicle. Now you get to Belfield or you get to Dickinson and you turn north and go to Watford City or Williston and you're getting in line with a convoy. Same thing coming out of Minot. And it's just almost unimaginable to see the change that has come across western North Dakota in such a short time period.
You looked at your parents one day and you said, you know what, I'm going to NDSU. I'm going to be an engineer. And the reason you did that was because you always had a passion or a love for building things and infrastructure. When you look out to western North Dakota and you see all that's happening, in terms of infrastructure, and we're going to have some of these folks on there. We're going to talk to North Dakota DOT. But your piece of the puzzle, the water piece, is really a big part of what's going to solve a lot of that traffic you just talked about.
Yeah, it's such an integral part of what's going on out there, the water, not only from the industrial need of it for fracturing wells and that type of thing, but just the overwhelming number of people that are moving into the area. These communities weren't built to service this kind of population, so up and down the western part of the state, every community out there is struggling with water needs or other infrastructure, whether it's water, wastewater, power supply. Everything that was there prior to this boom was sized for a population base. Something you don't even think about, like gas stations. The number of gas stations in Williston was set to service a certain number of people. Well, if that number all of a sudden, increases by a factor of 3, now, just something as simple as trying to go get a tank of gas, which normally be a 5-minute deal, could turn into a 20, 25-minute, half-hour thing just to go and get gas.
Yep, I saw that. I saw it when I was out there. I saw it when I went to pay for gas. Is when I really noticed it, because first off, there was a line at the bathroom. Yeah, I'm at that age. And there's a line just to go pay for your gas. So there's no just filling up with your credit card heading on out the door. I mean, it doesn't work that way there anymore.
No, it's everything. Every facet of life in western North Dakota has changed.
Okay. When we come back, what we want to do is open up these phone lines, because part of what Cory and I would like to do with Energy Matters is give you what you're looking for. And so what we'd love to do is have you call into us and say, down the road, it might not be today, but down the road, what we'd really like to hear is something like this on the show. We'd really like to take this next segment and just get a feedback from you on what you'd like to hear, what official you'd like to have, or what subject you'd like to talk about. So give us a call, 1-800-880-5346. It's that easy. We'll be back right after this.